My initial stages of planning I found really difficult as I had far too many ideas and I couldn't narrow down one. After carrying out audience feedback, I then thought about the conventions of music video, what people would actually want, whether they would want a story to follow, whether they would want it to be more weird and wacky, whether they would want it to be something completely different. On my own, that I thought that there should be a story to follow. As at the beginning of my music video, you wouldn't really understand what is going on. This sets off lots of enigma codes for the audience. They'll be asking themselves questions: what is this about? What's going to happen? And this is what I feel you need for a music video. You need the audience to continue to watch, as in they will listen to the whole song and maybe just like the song. At the same time, I feel the music video must be memorable. If the music video isn't memorable, then there's a high chance that the song will be forgettable also. When coming up with my ideas, to begin with, the first thing I did was I looked at the lyrics for the song originally. The song that I did choose to do my music video on was a remix of the original song, Starry Eyed by Ellie Goulding. To gain ideas, I did look at the lyrics, and there was one line which stuck out for me more than anything. The one line that I did remember more than anything was the line that says, "So we burst into colours." This line of lyric straight away sparked an idea in my head and made me think this song needs something to do with colour, which is where my main idea comes from, as you can see towards the end of my music video. When thinking about colour in my music video, I felt the most effective place where I could add more colour is towards the end, where the song is more up-tempo and it's reaching some sort of climax. Once I established that I wanted to include a brighter colour towards the end, I started to look at existing videos where I had seen colour being used to accentuate the storyline. One TV advert which I'd seen as soon as I saw it I loved. It's Vera Wang advert for Princess the perfume. As you can see, there is an overlay of colours and lights, really adding an ethereal, epic kind of look to the advert itself, which really gave it an edge which I wanted to go for my music video. However, after searching through Final Cut and all of the software on the computers, I realised that there is not an effect that I could use to create this. I tried to think, how can I make this effect? Could it be the glare from the sun? Could it be filming through coloured film to make this effect? I couldn't figure out how you do it at all. After looking on all of the software at school and realising that there was physically no way that I could do this, I turned to the internet. I tried to do some research on how you would create like a lens flare on the screen, how you would make it look more colourful, how you could change the colour of what is on the screen. There was different effects on Final Cut which I could have used, but it didn't give the same impact which I wanted to, like it was in that Vera Wang advert. After coming to the conclusion that there was no way to do this, I decided I had to approach it from a different way. So the way in which I did do this was by looking on Final Cut, looking at all of the different effects which could accentuate the colour which was already on my footage. There was an effect on Final Cut which was called bloom. This created a brighter, more outstanding effect on the image and made it much more colourful and stand out to the eye. I feel this is really effective as is exactly what I wanted to go for. It takes away from the dull background and really emphasises that colour is really important in my music video. When looking at different theories in my music video, there was two which stand out to me: Bartez's enigma code and Todorov's narrative theory. Todorov's narrative theory applies to my music video simply because it starts off with an equilibrium. There's a peaceful state where you're not sure what is happening. There's a disequilibrium in the middle where there's a disrupted state where you realise that James, the guy, is following Amy, the girl, which leads up to an equilibrium. In the end, it's where the couple meet and where happiness is restored, ending in some sort of fairy tale ending. For each of my three productions, I made sure that all three of them contained the same aspects and themes constantly throughout. My music video, my magazine advertisement and my digipack all contained confetti to show that they all link together. They contain the same colour fonts, the same type of fonts and all of the same details which will be needed. For instance, on my magazine advertisement, I've included some of the tracks which will be on the digipack, and that includes a DVD of the video. For the front of my digipack, I use an image of a girl and a boy walking past confetti made out to say Starry-Eyed, the name of the song, on the floor. I linked this to my magazine advertisement by using Photoshop, by cutting out each of the starry-eyed segments, as well as using the confetti spelt out starry-eyed for my digipack on the front cover. I used it for my magazine advertisement as well. I used Photoshop to cut out each of the segments of confetti and put it onto a black background, and then I upped the contrast to make starry-eyed look brighter to stand out on the background. On my digipack you can see that there is a boy and a girl walking past. I used the same boy and the girl in a different part of my music video for my magazine advertisement. However, they are wearing the same clothes and you can tell that it is the same people, creating a constant link between the magazine advertisement and the digipack. After watching the music video, you can also tell that all three are linked together. There are constant themes throughout all three of my productions which ensure cross-media fertilisation and synergy. When gaining my audience feedback for my planning stages, it was a very vital point for me, as I had so many ideas and I didn't know how to narrow it down. The process which I carried out was to create a spider diagram, and I showed a number of people and they managed to tell me what they thought would be good, what would be bad, and then from there I could pinpoint my idea which I wanted and how I could make it effective. After this stage was done, I thought it was time to do a storyboard. So I started to storyboard and then put it into my animatic. Once my animatic was done on iMovie, I could then show people, see what people think about it, and then ask them again what could be changed, what could be better, and talk about timing differences, how the shots should be laid out, everything like that. Once amendments had been made to my animatic, it was then time for me to go out and actually film. Once the footage had been captured and I'd put it onto Final Cut, I could then start the lengthy editing process, putting the shots together, sorting out timings, where the clips would go in order, and what effects would be most effective for each clip. It was very important that I got opinions from people to what effects would look good and bad, so I didn't want to add on effects for the whole film and then someone turn around and say it wasn't very good. So as I went along, I asked people what effect would look better, which is the best out of these two effects, and asked them what the difference is and what makes each one best. Getting this audience feedback from people really influenced my decisions, as I feel if people didn't give me these opinions, then I wouldn't know what looks good and what looks bad, and I would just have my opinion on there. To gain outside information from other people, it brings a different perspective to my music video, as the whole time I've been looking at my music video and thinking what looks good and bad, yet someone else might feel that it's not as good as what I think. I needed something which would look effective, which would appeal to my target audience, and simply promoted what I wanted to promote for the music video. It was very important that I kept all different aspects of my ancillary task and my music video very similar, as I needed to keep the same font throughout, I needed to keep the same colours and the same theme. When getting audience feedback on my ancillary task, it was just as important it was to get them for my music video. This was because I had a number of images which I could use for my front cover or for my magazine advertisement, but I didn't know which would be more effective. Getting audience feedback from people made it really easy for me to make decisions. They told me which image would look best, which image is hard-hitting and would appeal to the right audience, which is really what I needed. That I took other people's opinions into consideration, as it's them that I would be appealing to. I asked people in my target audience so I would know what they would want and what they expect from normal, conventional digipacks or magazine advertisements. I asked them what colour font maybe I should use, what type of font, what size of font, what would be more hard-hitting, and from this I would get lots of feedback. I also asked them which image would be most effective, whether it be the image of the couple or the image of the couple walking away past starry-eyed sign on the floor.